Rise and shine, my mothers and my brothers. I used to say that all the time. And I used to say, let it grow and let it flow. That used to refer to the beard. Now it refers to your life. Let it grow and let it flow. Never stop learning. Education is a lifelong process, and it's not necessarily formal education. Where do you learn from? Where do you get your wisdom from? From people? Sure, academic credentials can mean something. They don't always mean something, but they can mean something. Who do you learn from? Galileo said, I never met a man so ignorant that I couldn't learn something from him. Kind of an interesting way to describe how you are able to learn from everybody. So here I am in my 60s. I'm at the point now where my mentors are dead or dying. It's gotten to that point. By the time you get to be 60 and over, there's not a lot of mentors left as far as living people that I look up to. Now I go to my former mentors who are no longer living, and I read their books and I peruse their material and remind myself of where I learned this or that, and it's been absolutely magnificent. But one of the things that happened to me in the past, I'd say, as I was approaching 60, when I started seeing my mentors in their 70s and 80s and 90s all die off, I was losing fresh influence. And I don't necessarily mean that I need young influence to be fresh. I could find somebody new to learn from. But typically mentors are older. My mentors in the past few years, people that I glean knowledge from, I usually get wisdom from older people and knowledge from younger people. The definition of knowledge is the definition of wisdom is the application of knowledge. Knowledge by itself, just for the sake of knowledge, really means nothing. How many 4.0 super smart people do you know that, the old people used to say this, he's so smart that he's dumb. And I used to love that line. He's so smart that he's dumb. Well, that does describe a lot of people, but with age can come wisdom. So I trust older people. Not to the point where I distrust younger people, but wisdom does have its place in the older generation. And when you get a bunch of old people together, there is a collective mastermind going on. Last night I was on a podcast. I'm probably going to co-publish it. It was a Zoom call that will be an audio podcast, and also I believe they recorded the Zoom video. And it was with two guys. One guy was a client of mine down in Virginia who is a motivational speaker. And I probably saw him, it had to be 5 years ago. It's got to be 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. Pretty cool dude, gray beard, biker, former military, has a lot to say, and he started a podcast a couple years ago. And he has another fella that is his co-host, or I should say they are, I don't know if it's host and co-host or just they both do it. I got to find out more, but I would love to be on their show again. But he mentioned that between the three of us last night that there was 170 years of experience. And all three of us had gray beards. And it was fascinating. It was absolutely fascinating. And I can't wait to share it with you. I did drop some language in there that I don't normally use, or that I used to use. But don't hate me for that, please. Where do you get your knowledge and your wisdom from? For instance, I don't want to say I get on a kick, but I have trends in my life of who I listen to. Podcasts, videos that I watch, and lately I've been listening to Father Josiah Trenham. T-R-E-N-H-A-M, and I would love to have him as a guest on the show. He's an Orthodox priest. You know what? I just got a whiff of pot. I don't know if I just drove past someone smoking weed, or the person in front of me, or it's one of those smell memories or something where all of a sudden, just like out of nowhere, you get a whiff of pot. It's weird. I just smelled weed. Listening to Father Josiah Trenham, T-R-E-N-H-A-M. pastor of a church in, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm not mistaken, Santa Rosa, California. Went to the same seminary that I did, except I believe he went to Westminster on the West Coast. I went to Westminster on the East Coast. Reformed in background, like me, and then moved in the direction and was drawn to the Orthodox expression of faith. I don't want to say he was changing teams, but I said the Orthodox expression of faith. Some people would get angry with me for even saying that. And a lot of fundamentalists think that there's a lot of error in orthodoxy. I don't believe that. And I'm well versed in orthodoxy. But listening to him, holy cow. And he's kind of like the rock star, or I should say a rock star of the Orthodox Church in the United States. He's youngish, and when I say youngish, he was born in maybe 67, so he's a year older than my youngest brother, so he's 53, 54. Has rock star good looks, is intellectual, charismatic, authoritative in the way that he talks. Doesn't look like your typical Orthodox priest, not unlike Father Peter, who I had a conversation with last week that all of you enjoyed. And I would love to get Father Josiah on as well. And someone asks him about single women in the church, and his answer almost brought tears to my eyes. I felt it happening because I felt the heart of a shepherd talking. And he said, when he thinks about the single women in his church who aren't getting married, it basically breaks his heart. And those that desire to be married. So he gives advice to women. And for the ladies that are watching, if you can, what do they say? A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. I will say that his charisma and good looks and his humor and his intellect is very attractive for women. I can see women just going, whoa, who's this dude? He's married and has 10 children. So he took it seriously to be fruitful and multiply. So rather than hearing the message from a stuffy minister of some type who seems narrow-minded, he speaks in a compassionate way that I have rarely heard with a pastor of a church. It was amazing. Check it out. It's only a few minutes. Hold on. Excuse me. Yesterday and today they've been very sneezy days for me. So check them out. So now I am learning from a man who is at least 6 or 7 years younger than me and speaks with wisdom and authority. Magnificent. Who are your teachers? Are they real? Are they virtual? And to me, that's great. If they are real, like flesh and blood, you have met with them for lunch and for breakfast and know them, then that helps the lesson drive in a little bit better, I believe, and that is called true mentorship. But do you have mentors that you never met? For instance, many of you watch Jordan Peterson, and he seems like a father figure to many, a very fallible father figure. He did at one time speak with more authority. Now he's a little meeker and more fragile, which he doesn't speak with the force that he used to speak. And that's an interesting phenomenon that happened in the past couple of years. And I certainly wish him the best. And I think I'm going to have him on the channel as well as his daughter. Well, I hope you have a great day today. I want you to be radical in your approach to the world. Suck your stomach in, chest out, shoulders back, head held high, walk 25% faster. Do it for every day for a week. See how people treat you different. It'll happen.
Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other. So far as the echo, where do we start? You can learn to discover a million stars. Here in the shadows, I know you're scared. Take my hand, together we'll make a stand. We've got to fight to find a way. Dare to fall to find out what to say. No more hate. Just admit that you're just afraid. Time to let go of all your fears and pride. Stand up beside me, don't you hide. We can build a better place. If we can just find a way, then we can live a better day. Rise from the ashes, from the anger, from the war. Let's come together, lift your spirit for the cause. We should be equal, should be living free. All together, one and all, let's build a dream. Just admit that you're just afraid. Let go of all your fears and pride. Stand up beside me, don't you hide. We can build a better place. If we can just find a way, then we can live a better day. 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 Rise from the ashes, from the anger, from the war. Let's come together, lift your spirit for the cause. We should be equal, should be living free. All together, one and all. All together, one and all. All together, one and all. Let's live a better day.